It was supposed to be just another preseason game, one of those tune-up matchups you barely remember. But this one lit a fire. Brazil's national team flew all the way to Iowa, got flattened by 64 points, and left with selfies, autographs, and stories about Caitlin Clark like they had just met Michael Jordan. And Angel Reese, she was watching it all unfold, and she had had enough. While Caitlin was grinning, taking pictures, and hearing Brazilian coaches rave about her like she was some basketball goddess, Angel Reese was seething. Not because Caitlin was playing well. Angel knew she could ball, but because all the love, all the attention, all the global headlines were skipping right over her. Again. And this time, it felt personal. "How do you say bang in Portuguese?" Caitlin joked after dropping logo threes like they were warm-up shots. The crowd laughed. The Brazilian team laughed. They danced, smiled, and lined up for her signature like she'd just won them a championship. Meanwhile, Angel watched that moment like it was salt in an open wound. Because just days earlier, she had faced the same team. No autographs, no praise, no coaches saying she changed the game, just silence. Angel Reese doesn't take silence lightly. Caitlin Clark played 18 minutes. Just 18. That's less than an episode of your favorite show. In that time, she lit up the court, commanded the arena, and walked out with a +42 impact like it was nothing. And the kicker? She wasn't even sweating. She was breezing through the game while the Brazilian squad, young, scrappy, and maybe a little too starstruck, treated her like the second coming. But for Angel, it wasn't about the numbers. It wasn't even about the crowd. It was about the message, the implication, the fact that people were acting like Caitlin Clark was the entire sport. And if Angel Reese has made one thing clear since day one, it's that she refuses to let anyone erase her part in this story. So when people started reposting videos of Brazil's team giggling and jumping on Caitlin's logo, then turning around and asking her for selfies, Angel saw through the glitter. She saw it for what it was, another moment where she got pushed to the background while the spotlight burned hot on Clark. And she wasn't having it. She went online, she dropped hints. Her mother posted, "We ain't the same," and the internet went wild decoding who that was aimed at. But let's not kid ourselves, everyone knew exactly who it was about. Angel Reese, the self-proclaimed Bayou Barbie, wasn't going to let a highlight reel and a few autographs write her out of history. She'd been battling this narrative since LSU. Back when she dropped 15 and 10 like it was nothing and still got painted as the villain because she dared to taunt the Golden Girl. Back when she pointed to her ring finger and said, "I'm a champion," and the world called her unsportsmanlike. But now, things felt different. The stakes were higher. This wasn't just college beef anymore. This was the WNBA. And Angel wasn't just fighting for respect. She was fighting for recognition in a league that was suddenly orbiting around Caitlin Clark like she was the sun. Behind the scenes, Angel let people know exactly how she felt. Friends close to her say she was furious, that seeing her team overlooked and her game undervalued had her ready to call it out directly. But Angel plays chess, not checkers. She knew how to keep it slick. A tweet here, a clip there, a few well-placed words in an interview. She wasn't going to throw the first punch, but she damn sure wasn't going to stay quiet. And then, the tipping point. In a post-game moment that should have been about team celebration, Angel reportedly confronted someone in the locker room over the media's obsession with Clark. Sources say she asked aloud why a 16-point performance in a blowout was being treated like a masterpiece while her 25 and 12 games barely made the ticker. The room got quiet. Everyone knew it was real. Angel wasn't throwing shade, she was spitting facts. Caitlin, for her part, kept it cool. She smiled through the interviews, talked about growing the game, signed more autographs, but even she could feel the shift. The energy was different. She knew that admiration from Brazil was going to rub someone the wrong way. And in the WNBA, where rivalries turn into narratives fast, that someone was always going to be Angel Reese. People tried to smooth it over. They respect each other, analysts said. There's no beef, others added. But the fans weren't buying it, and neither was Angel. Because every time she opened her phone, she saw another video of Caitlin Clark being called the savior of women's basketball. And not once did they mention the woman who brought swagger, fire, and record-breaking ratings just a year earlier. So Angel did what Angel does best. She responded with her game. In the next matchup, she went full beast mode, snatching rebounds, talking trash, getting physical. It wasn't just about the win, it was about the message. You will not ignore me. Not today, not ever. And when a reporter asked her afterward about the so-called Caitlin Clark effect, she didn't blink. "She's great," Angel said, "but I'm not going to pretend she's the only one out here changing the game." Boom! That was the shot. Clean, controlled, and cold. But it didn't stop there. Social media lit up. Debates exploded. Team Reese, Team Clark. Old tweets resurfaced. Clips were analyzed frame by frame. The narrative was in overdrive. And Angel? She leaned into it. Because here's the thing most people don't get. Angel Reese never wanted to be the villain. She was cast in that role. She was labeled as too loud, too emotional, too cocky. All the things that make a man a legend, but somehow make her controversial. And yet, she never backed down. Caitlin might be the clean-cut, logo 3-shooting golden girl, but Angel is the fire, the storm, the one who's not afraid to shake the table and call out the double standards. That's why this moment matters, because it's not just about basketball. It's about what we choose to celebrate, about how media shapes legacies in real time, about why a Brazilian coach calling Caitlin the future hit different when Angel's own greatness goes overlooked by the same system. Angel Reese isn't mad. Caitlin Clark is shining. She's mad the world acts like there's only room for one star. And she's done pretending otherwise. By the end of the week, you couldn't scroll without seeing the fallout. Clips from the game, side-by-side comparisons, quotes from both camps. And even though Caitlin stayed diplomatic, her fans did the talking for her, mocking Angel, downplaying her contributions, and turning what should be a celebration of talent into a toxic tug-of-war. Angel noticed. Oh, she noticed. And her next move? It wasn't another tweet. It wasn't a PR spin. It was a full-court press. She dropped a double-double in her next appearance. Did media catch it? Barely. But real ones knew. She was making noise the only way that matters, on the hardwood. And as she walked off the court that night, she didn't need to taunt anyone. She didn't need a quote. Her face said it all. You will remember my name. The rivalry is alive, not because of cheap drama, not because of gossip, but because two elite women are fighting for the same throne, one through quiet dominance, the other through unapologetic fire. And maybe, just maybe, that throne is big enough for both. But if the game keeps tilting toward one narrative, if the world keeps pretending Angel's name doesn't belong in the same sentence as Caitlin's, then yes, Angel Reese will go nuts. And she will destroy that narrative. Because disrespect, real or implied, never sits quietly in her world. The WNBA just got its storyline. Buckle up!